you guys ready for the best show ever? Welcome to Date Night with Connie and Chrissy. I'm your host, Connie Henriquez, and I have my fabulous co-host, Chrissy
Crazy.
Bogue.
Oh, you left out the crazy
I
this
know,
time.
I thought I'd change it up.
Oh, thank you. You're trying to say I tamed down a little bit?
You tamed down. You did. You did.
Did I, though?
A little bit. Not really. Not really. Crazy Chrissy Bogue. And tonight's guest is the very fab relationship and dating coach, Victoria Love. And what I love about Victoria Love, we're actually Facebook friends.
That her name is Love.
Yeah, exactly. That her name is Love. But also, she's very hardcore. So if you read any of her posts on Facebook, she's very to the point, right?
Yeah,
You've seen that. We've had conversations about it, right?
I like all her quotes.
Exactly.
I love them all.
She's very, very to the point, which we love. So
I could just read her quotes and not go to
exactly.
therapy. That's the therapy. I just read them all.
She's very blunt, which we like. That's why she's here tonight.
And she's going to give us awesome online dating tips,
She
which
is.
everyone needs help with.
Exactly, because when you want to meet someone, there's so many things out there, you don't know what the hell to do. So she's going to help us with that. She's going to give us some advice how to meet the right person and how to do online dating.
Or not to do. Or choose not to do.
Exactly, what to do or not to do. So, Chrissy, what'd you do this weekend?
This weekend? The weekend just started, Connie.
So listen, we had a very crazy week this
Oh my God.
week.
First of all, I'm so
I'm
tired.
actually
Aren't you
exhausted.
tired?
I really am. I really am.
I don't even know the last time I slept.
I know, me neither.
5
I
hours,
really need a good
guys.
nap.
We've been so busy. We have so many good events, but
I
it's all
know.
good stuff. We're meeting a lot of great
We've
people.
been having fun.
I hung out at Donald Trump's golf course on Wednesday.
Oh, yes. And let me ask you a question.
I know. He wasn't there.
The Donald?
No.
No?
Guys, I thought I was going to meet him, but he
She
wasn't
was all
there.
excited to meet the Donald.
I
He
know.
was almost up there with Eric Decker, but I don't think so. Not
I met
quite.
other cool people, though.
You did? Who'd you meet?
Yeah. I met the Orange County Chopper guys.
Ah,
Not Paul Tuttle Sr.
Okay.
I was driving my camera guy nuts.
Yeah.
He's like, you said it about 70 times that
And so
you were
who is
upset
this?
that Paul Tuttle Sr.
From Orange Chopper?
Yeah, from Orange County Choppers. You never watched the
No,
show?
I never did.
Oh my God. Guys, I was obsessed with the show. I used to watch it religiously. It's
is
the
it
best
on?
show. Oh, it was on Discovery Channel. It was back in 2002. They might be
Excellent.
coming back. I don't know. I was trying to get him to tell me he couldn't release any information. But they were so much fun.
Yeah.
And the Choppers.
Actually, I thought about you that morning because it was kind of rainy, so it worked out okay?
Guys, first of all, no, it wasn't okay.
I
was
concerned
freezing.
about Chrissy's hair.
I was
know that's always an
my
issue.
hair got messed up, so I had to go get it redone tonight, guys. Just for you. Just for you guys that did
Just
it.
for date night.
No, it was rainy and freezing. But it was for the Bronx Chamber of Commerce. It was
Okay.
Donald Trump just opened up a new golf course.
Okay, cool.
Trump Golf
Golf,
Links.
okay.
I don't want to mess it up. In
Did you-
Ferry Point, New York.
Very cool. Did you play golf at all, or no? Were you just hanging around?
I would want to learn. There was a pro golfer there, PJ Cowan. I met him. He was a little wild.
Wow.
He told me he would give me some lessons, so I'm going to take
I
him up
love
on that
it.
offer.
Okay. And now, do you have any pictures?
Yeah, of course.
Come on, Vicky, let's roll
I
the
met Donald
pictures.
Trump's son,
Oh, which one?
Eric.
Oh, very cool.
I got to interview him, guys.
Good.
Let's go to the pictures.
Oh, there's the guy from the Chopper, right?
Wait. I gotta
It's the
see
young
this.
guy.
That's Nick. That's Nick.
He's
Let
adorable.
me see. I gotta pull it up, guys. There's Lenny Caro. He's the president of the Bronx Chamber of Commerce. There's Nick.
Ah, okay. He's cute.
I mean Nick. I'm calling him Nick. That's Eric. That's Eric.
Oh, he
Eric
must have Freudian
Trump.
slip.
I have Nick in my brain. There's Nick and Jason, the
Okay.
awesome guys from Orange County Choppers.
Very cool.
That's PJ Cowan, pro golfer,
Oh, okay.
professional golfer.
Is that the one that offered to teach you?
I gotta take my glasses up. Yep, that was it. That was it, guys.
Cool.
And I had a little personal message also.
You did?
Because I was so upset that Paul Tuttle Sr. wasn't there.
Right.
So good old Nick had his uncle send me a little personal
Now listen,
message.
oh, here we go.
And it's
Now,
sideways.
it is sideways. Can we hear the volume? Although we
Shut the
probably
fuck up, Chrissy.
You can't? Oh,
Aw.
man.
Well,
Tom,
he was-
I wanted you to hear it.
Guys-
It was not. I was like, first of all, I said to Chrissy, I'm like, oh my God, I don't know, was he rude or not?
No, Nick
No?
made him do it. That's how he is. That's his
I love it.
personality.
I love it.
He
Chrissy
told me
said
to
this
shut
me.
the
I was-
F up. That's what
She
he told
did- Yes, he did. He was like grouchy.
But I'm happy about it.
I
But
know, you love him.
My mom was like, why did he curse you? I'm like, no, this is the best day of my life besides being
It
Eric
was like
Decker.
saying, I love you.
Yeah.
I love you, Chrissy.
I got Paul Tuttle Sr. to tell me to shut the F up.
up.
And this is why I used to love the show because he reminded me of my dad. I think they look alike.
Oh.
So I'm going to show
Do
you
we have
guys
a picture of
quick
Chrissy's dad?
picture of my dad.
There you go.
Look at Papa
That might
Dukes.
be upside down too, but that's okay.
Is it?
I don't know.
My dad's upside down, but he looks just like Paul.
He actually does.
Doesn't
I
he?
see it, yeah.
My poor dad. Why is he sideways, guys? Come on. Come on. What are we doing here? We're running a show here.
Difficulties.
But if you want to follow the lovely Nick Maricone.
Wait, we didn't see Nick's video.
Oh,
Vicky,
oh,
let's
yeah.
see Nick's video.
Hello, everybody.
go.
My name is Nick Maricone. I'm from Orange County Choppers. I just want to let everybody know that I met the lovely Chrissy Bogue this week at Donald Trump's annual Golf Links outing down in the Bronx. Plus, I want to make sure that everybody tunes in tonight for date night with Chrissy and Connie. Thank you.
That's right, because we can't hear the video, so we continue to talk over the video. You can't even hear us, but because we can't hear it.
All right, if you want to follow Nick, not if you want to, you better follow
Yes,
Nick.
follow Nick. He's adorable.
He's adorable. At Nick Maricone OCC on Twitter and Instagram. He's my new best friend. I love you, Nick. Thank you for doing that. Nick and Jason. Jason's the designer of those choppers. Did you see that Yankee chopper?
Ah, yes. Very, very cool. So if I want
Tom, can you buy me one?
Tom, you're going to get us a date night chopper?
Yes! Let's have them do it.
Totally!
Paul Telesenior,
Come
if
on,
you're
boss.
watching this right now, can you make us a date night with Connie and Chrissy Chopper? Thank you. Love you,
Tom
Paul.
said yes. And where did we go last night, which we're still recovering from?
Yes, we had the prelude to the
prelude.
hospitality ball. Alec Baldwin will be there.
Oh, so wait.
You were there?
No, so wait. So last night we had the prelude last night,
Yes.
but the hospitality ball is actually on June 1st.
Yes, I'm glad you knew the date because I
Yes.
forgot.
So it was the intro party, which we had a blast,
Yes,
right? And we
we
have
met-
some pictures from that, right, Vicky? Oh, they're showing them right now.
Oh.
Yay! There's us with some
Let me
very
see.
cool peeps, if we could see.
Can we talk over it or no?
Yeah, we could talk
Oh,
now.
okay.
There's no video. And there's there's us with Karen and Regina, who we love
Yes.
from Shake It Up. It's their first time that we
There's
met them.
Sam Cassidy and
JR.
JR.
Yeah, that's our photo booth. Buddy.
And there's
the
good old
boss.
Tom.
There's the boss man, Tom Mealy.
There's the boss. He gets a little aggravated at us from
He
time
does.
to
He
time,
actually gets a little cranky. We try to snap him out of it, but what are you gonna do?
he needs a Tito.
He does. He needs more than a Tito. I don't know how Vicky does it.
Poor Vic.
I'm only kidding. I love you both. I love you. All right.
What's your self-help tip?
So now
of the
we're ready
week?
for the Start Living Life tip of the day.
I keep calling it the self-help tip of the week.
It is actually.
It is helping.
And it's be clear about the partner you want and make a list. So, what does that mean? So, we have a relationship dating coach on tonight, which is Victoria Love, who's awesome.
Yep, can't
Now,
wait.
what I have discovered, especially with working with different clients, is that so many times I find girls are not clear about what they want in a guy.
I'm
Right?
very clear. I said I
Well,
want Eric
no,
Decker.
you are now.
Where is
Right,
he, guys?
right.
Actually, I did meet him, but I didn't.
Yeah, well, you got what you wanted. Clearly, he's married, though. But when you think about it, when you think about a partner, right, you want someone who's good looking, maybe physically attractive, tall, whatever. But when you think about it, there's so many things that you don't think about, like characteristics that you don't really think are important until you really consider it and you date someone who doesn't have it. So, for example, someone who's funny, someone who's secure, someone who's emotionally connected. So some key characteristics that you never even think about. So what I always suggest for every single girl or guy out there, when you're looking for a partner, you want to really line list everything you're looking for your partner, because that way you could be really clear. And sometimes you realize when you go for that list that you're not that clear, because if you come up with 4 or 5 things, you're not that clear. So something to think about. What you want on your partner, write it down. I'm a big fan of the lists. My sister, she always makes fun of me because I make a list for everything.
You always tell me to make a list
Exactly.
of 10 things I like about myself every
Exactly.
morning.
That's another episode. That's the next episode. So you want to make a list. And again, I don't make lists about doing the laundry, doing the dishes. I make lists about things that are really important to me, like appreciation lists or goals that I'm working on. So a partner list is huge. So sit down, take a 10 minutes, write down some key characteristics that you want in your partner that you really haven't considered, other than good looking and blah blah blah.
Right.
Like be really really specific, right?
And
Didn't you find
don't write what you don't want.
Right.
You always used to tell me that.
Exactly. You have to write the opposite.
I'm like, well, I don't want him to be selfish and immature.
Right.
Like, no, stop.
I'm like, Chrissy! So, if you don't want him to be selfish, you want him to be, like, appreciative and
Right.
giving. So you want to kind of really state what you want, and you will find, and I found in my own experience, it is huge when you attract who you want based on the clarity of what you're looking for. And that's the Start Loving Life tip of the day.
Well, what's funny is Eric Decker really is in my vision book that
And
I
you
have.
got to meet him.
And that's when Laura, our
Yes!
other dating coach that was on, remember? She was, I couldn't believe it. Then the next week we met Eric Decker.
Do you think that's weird? Not
No.
really.
Guys, it was the universe delivering. Thank you,
was.
universe. I waited a long time.
It was, right? And how easy was it?
I know.
We were hanging out with Eric Decker, and who's the other guy?
Justin Pugh
Pugh.
from the Giants. He was
Yeah.
awesome. I loved him.
Yes.
But the OCC guys were better than them.
Yes.
Because I got a personal message from Paul Tuttle
That's right.
Sr.
That's right.
telling me to shut the F up. I'll take
That's
it.
right.
I'll take it, guys.
We're the new big supporters.
Yep, I love them.
All right, Chrissy, so we're ready for
All right,
your
let's do-
bestie.
All right, let's do it.
Bestie of the week. What's going on?
Well, guys, are you sick of family members and friends complaining and asking you if you don't have a boyfriend?
Yes.
And you go to holidays without having anybody?
Yes.
Well, guys, now the app created a boyfriend for you. You could get Invisible Boyfriend.
I love it. So
And-
what is it?
Well, you pay actually. But the
So
first
you pay for a boyfriend? I love it.
the first text is free though. So there's a real person on the other end. You could pick out their name,
Really?
what they do, how you guys met, their age, their height.
So you make a whole story
You
up.
make a whole story up. It's called the Invisible Boyfriend
love
app,
it.
and
So wait,
they
so if-
text you throughout the day.
so you have to actually be like, oh my god, my boyfriend's texting me right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Oh
They
my God,
send
he
you.
loves me.
They send you a text.
Yeah.
You get a postcard from them.
Do you get flowers?
Oh, and you can choose personality, like you were just talking about.
I love it.
You should get flowers. So you'll
Is
receive
that an upgrade? To get flowers?
you'll receive random texts throughout the day.
I love it.
Because you know how we
Of
love
course,
getting that.
Of course, but you would have to announce it, like to make
And-
it worth the money.
And you get a handwritten postcard. I don't know why I would
Like,
want
who
to.
writes
I know.
postcards
Why would my
anymore?
boyfriend be sending me a
Right.
postcard,
You'd be like,
guys?
oh my god, you're a dork.
Was he in
No.
another country?
Ex-
Well, whatever, guys. You know what? You gotta do what you gotta do so people get off
I
your
think
back.
it's a great idea. I think it's weird, but I think it's a great idea.
I think it's funny. I'm gonna try it.
think
I just
it's
want to
funny.
test it out. I'm gonna name him. I'm name him Eric Decker. That's what I'm name him, guys. I'm gonna get
Eric
random
Decker.
texts.
But then you have to announce it. Like you're like, oh my god, I got a text from Eric Decker.
I will.
Oh my god, I got a postcard in the
I'm
mail.
gonna. Oh yeah, that's right. I'll have a postcard from him.
Right. Oh my
I
god,
wonder if
everyone,
they
I
send
got
you
a
a picture.
postcard.
I'm gonna.
Oh yes. But then what do you do when you have family functions? You're like, where's Eric Decker?
You're right. You know what, guys?
Then it
I don't know.
screws- it screws it up.
Maybe that's another app. Maybe me and you should create that.
Yeah.
Where an actual live
We'll
person
just hire
shows up.
someone to like pretend to be a boyfriend.
We'll get Bowie. We'll have
That's
Butler
right.
Bowie.
We'll have Bowie.
Imagine
exactly.
Butler Bowie
We'll
just
have a
goes-
whole other service of business. Butler
He would
Bowie.
love to do that.
He would
Come on.
totally. He would totally like be all over it.
I can't wait
Alright.
for our guest. Should we get her?
Yes. So all right, guys, we're going to break. Maybe the bulldog's going to clean the lens, or maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe next break.
Grab a Tito's. That's what we're doing.
Stretching under sedation or manipulation under anesthesia is a very gentle, very precise procedure to very slowly release any scar tissue that is formed as a result of a traumatic injury. Many people ask, how does this work? Will I get hurt? Will you stretch me too far? We only stretch the body part to its normal range of motion. After completing the post-MUA rehabilitation program, it's very common that our patients say to us, hey, I can play ball with my kid again. Hey, I can bowl again. Hey, I can enjoy hiking again. This is what makes it rewarding to us as practitioners. Stretching under
Planning an
sedation.
event and want to include entertainment, but you're not sure where to turn?
Act1Entertainment.net has provided over 1,500 events with quality, affordable live entertainment at private parties, corporate affairs, festivals, bike rallies, and more. Act One will fit into your budget. They're friendly, reliable, and do all the legwork for you. They take all major credit cards. Log on to Act1Entertainment.net for a free, no-obligation price quote or call 631-758-3505 for a brochure.
You'll be happy you did.
We're back with the beautiful Victoria Love, our dating coach of the night.
Yeah,
Hi,
Victoria,
ladies. Thank you for
welcome to
being here.
date night.
Thank you for
excited?
having me. Absolutely.
I feel like you're in the jungle.
I know.
I
No,
think
that's
I
a
am.
forest.
I feel like she's
a
in
forest.
I feel like she's in
Life
the
is
jungle.
a jungle.
That's our top jungle. Exactly. So
Life
Victoria,
and
what we
love.
were saying before you came on is that obviously we're all Facebook friends, and what we love about your posts, because clearly you're on my newsfeed all the time, is that you're very blunt and to the point, which we
am.
love.
I love that.
And we
That's
actually
how I
get a
am.
kick. We get a kick at it. We're like, oh my god, you see Victoria's post?
I
It's
know.
so funny.
I like them all. Don't you get all my notifications?
Yeah,
I'm like-
I get
like-
a lot of news feed.
I
just
save
don't
a
get
lot
to
of them.
everybody. That's the only downside of that.
Yeah, that's fine because you have
Yeah.
so many people.
Yeah, lots of friends and followers, and their loyalty is just absolutely wonderful. I'm virtual, so that means via phone nationwide. Life,
perfect.
relationship, dating coach, online dating expert. Lots of personal and professional experience, and so it all is awesome. I love my followers, readers. They're what keeps me going.
How
It's
did
just
you start
amazing.
out? How did you get into this?
You know, I owned a matchmaking agency years ago.
Oh wow,
I
That's
need
where
that,
it all
guys.
began.
interesting.
And then once online dating became prevalent, I sold it and just moved into coaching,
Very cool.
which I really enjoy. I wanted to help more of the masses. So the agency was more localized,
Okay.
but here I get to, believe it or not, I started out as just a life coach for emotional support through adversity, hardship, heartaches. And then
That sounds depressing.
Yeah.
well, a lot of people are emotionally broken, wounded, and need healing. And
I
so, it all starts with self-love, self-worth, and value.
Yep.
And that's what love and life is all about. And I believe love is our life force. It's what keeps us going. It's the crux of who we are. And so if we can all embrace that and just, again, it starts with you. And I reference it to a dry well. So if you want love and you seek love, but yet you're dehydrated and you have nothing or no resources, how can you then love others to your
like
full
that.
capacity? So
I like
it
that.
starts here. And then, of course, we can give to others and be the full partner in a relationship, the best that we can be, But again, self-love is not only first and foremost, just in general, just to have life not be so stressful and taxing, because most people, that's the way they wake up every day, just with the stress and the negativity as opposed to the positivity.
Right.
And so I try to encourage everybody, inspire, motivate them to just always stay positive and grateful and look at the perspective of life and love differently in relationships.
And what you love. So let me ask you a question, because we have a lot of single girls out there and they want to get right to the meat of
Yes.
things. So Victoria, obviously, if you're single and you're out there, there's so many, I don't want to say there's so many because some people would obviously disagree, but there's options for single people.
Yes.
So when you think about dating and online sites, clearly there's many. We always joke about how many there are and which ones we're doing or not.
Right.
So what do you suggest in terms of the online dating? Is there any preference in terms of sites versus free versus what you pay, or
Right.
eHarmony where you have to take like a 30-year quiz to decide who your is.
It's so true. So what I would suggest to everybody is that first and foremost, you don't want to look like the White Elephant or the Wallpaper Society where you're on 3 or 4 sites and then you look like the player and the...
So is that bad to be on 3 or 4 sites?
It is actually.
Oh.
It doesn't look so great from the outside looking in because people judge. Let's keep it real. They do. So if they see you on Match and eHarmony and Tinder and POF and a million other sites,
Right.
perhaps you might look like and
Right.
I'm not. They'll put a title on you,
Right.
Okay.
And rightfully so because you might do the same for a man,
Right.
Right.
and I do,
Okay.
and I encourage my clients. Please narrow it down to 1 or 2 sites at most. And stay refined in your search, so to speak, and better to look for quality than quantity. So
Okay.
let's narrow it down with the potential. Who has the most potential for us or in general? And then, of course, I give them the skills, tools, techniques. It really is a science and a strategy, believe it or not,
can't wait to hear that.
in life and love. It really is.
So not to interrupt you, just because, all right, so only stay on 1 to 2 sites.
Preferably. That would
And
be
now,
ideal.
with that said, is there a preference on what site? Because we have our free sites and then we have the ones we pay for.
Right.
We do. And so I would say give each, I started on Match many years ago, and then after about 6 months, I just, went to another just to not see the same faces, so to speak. Although you
Right.
do see
You do. I
duplicate
was gonna
faces
say
on
that.
every
You
site.
do.
My biggest suggestion would be if you're not looking to just hook up, then perhaps you should stay away from the hookup sites.
And what would be a hookup
Yeah.
site?
Such as Tinder, for
Yeah.
example.
Okay.
Okay, because then you're going toward the site that is known prevalently for that. And so don't complain if you don't get the quality,
Right.
and the deception, because a lot of people put up that veneer and facade in the beginning just to get the bait, bite, bail effect, as I call it. So they'll throw out the fish, the bait,
Yeah.
just to reel you in, and then depending on how it goes we all know the agenda or motivation behind it. It's really not a secret. So again, my suggestion is to try 1 or 2 sites most
Okay.
for most exposure, or else it could become a full-time job also. So we all have other
really?
things to do.
It really is.
There's Zeus, there's eHarmony, there's Our Time is great, which I suggest for my clients of 50 and over.
Yeah, I've
So
heard
there's
of
so many to choose from. It's just a matter of choosing 1 or 2 most.
Do you
at
like
a
Match
time.
over eHarmony or?
If you
versa?
Google
eHarmony's
the
like
highest
torture.
ranked ones,
But I feel like Match is getting a little bit like.
eHarmony's more stringent, where if you are separated, not technically legally divorced,
Right.
yet, then you can't join.
Oh,
and
is that true?
It's more,
I didn't know that.
yeah, it's more invasive as far as the screening process.
Okay.
So if you want just more simplified, then you want to do the POFs or the Match. And again, I think Match ranks pretty high. So I
Yeah.
would say absolutely. You're going to get the players and the typical narcissists or egocentric-minded people on every site, and that is not. I'm not biased to any one gender. It goes both ways.
Right.
So let's establish that and constitute that right off the
Yeah.
top. And so, because a lot of people out there say, I'm an advocate for women, and I'm really not. I'm an advocate for everyone. In fact, my motto for the masses and mission is to empower women and call men higher, so we both meet mutually in the middle to be the
that's
best
nice.
partners for one another, and not to sabotage or elude and become evasive in love and partnerships, but yet come together, and have that continuity and perpetuity, because there's so many people who just constantly run and hide, and that goes back to what I do in terms of my life coaching. It all starts with whether it be attachment, codependency. Failure is our biggest, the fear of failure is our default mode by nature, right? We all fall back into that, psychologically speaking, cognitively. That's how we go from adolescence into adulthood. That's what happens. We're
So
programmed
you-
like a computer.
You talk about self-love, and that's the beginning of attracting the right partner. What
You mean
tips
after
do
they
you
do
give?
their list?
Yeah, after they do their list. How do you teach someone to self-love? Because a lot of people struggle with that.
Get rid of the list.
Really?
Get rid of the list because a lot of people, their laundry list, especially women, they want 1 through 100. Instead of using their intuition, their insight organically, their natural perception and being, using discernment, just intrinsically, as opposed to, with our heads. Because first of all, our heads always are incongruent with what we want anyway, because it's not where it should be,
Right.
right? And so, the list, yes, we need to have high standards and requirements and virtues and morals and all that good stuff, right? But to be idealistic is being unrealistic. And so don't be a perfectionist, but yet have standards. It's a balance of both, right? To be fiercely feminine, but yet not to embrace that masculine. And by the way, that's one of the biggest downfalls of women. In today's culture and society, they really have this masculine energy because they try to keep up with the men, or to we're professionals now, we're independent, and so we have this power struggle instead of power couples, an epidemic of it. And the best thing to do is to really just embrace your divine feminine energy, but yet still be confident. There's a difference. It's a balance.
What would you suggest? Because obviously there'll be people out there that are like, oh, what are you talking about?
Right.
So can you clearly define what that means in terms of the masculine,
Well, don't emasculate your man by just trying to be in competition with him at all times. You're supposed to, listen, women want to be understood, heard, listened to, validated. Men want to be adored, appreciated, and accepted. Okay? So if we could all learn to live together in harmony, then we wouldn't be so,
But now let me ask you a question. What about the person that comes to you that says, my boyfriend, and you obviously you have experience with this because I've seen your Facebook posts, he's clearly a jerk. So how does she define between appreciating and loving him when he's treating her less than what she deserves?
Reciprocity. It's really simple, and this is where we fall short as women. We say, well, if we continue to give more to our men, then we'll get more back. Well, it has to be equal. There has to be reciprocity. It has to be a mutual respect, and respect has to be the absolute foundation of every, relationship, or else it's kind of like quicksand versus concrete. There's no strong infrastructure to build upon.
Right. So what does that person do?
That person has to see the signs. And are we talking about in an exclusive relationship or marriage? Because, if you're in a marriage, it's a lot harder because you have the vows, you have the children, the family.
You're stuck for life, guys.
No, you're not stuck. And I would never encourage everybody to feel that they're stuck. You be proactive. You exhaust all your resources. You go for counseling. But both parties have to be willing. If your partner, I don't care if it's 5 years or 20 years, is not willing, you can't force him, right, or her. It has to be willing. You have to have good faith, will, and intention, or else, it's just not going to work.
Do you think it's bad to put that you're looking for marriage in your online dating profile? Do you think women make a mistake by doing that?
I would probably say looking for long term, and so because men might unconsciously or subconsciously
be scared?
Intimidated. So you might want to put that in the essay, in the body of your profile, as opposed to the title and headliner, because they might, see it
for
and
marriage.
Looking for my baby daddy.
Next. Right? And by the way, talking about new next, bigger, better, and that's the mentality of men a lot of times. And that's, again, not being, discriminating toward men, but I'm gonna say we all do love men. It's just loving the right man, the man who's gonna appreciate, adore, respect you, and love you unconditionally, of course. So we don't want to go for the men that are narcissistic, egocentric, obviously, who are showing clear signs. So I blogged about that this morning.
No, and that's perfect. So what does a girl?
But before we get to that, I think we should just take a quick break.
Yes. Is it time for the bulldog? Tito's?
My name is Dr. Robert Brevard. I'm here for Multi-Medicine in Westbury, New York. We're located at 1065 Old Country Road, Suite 214. Been here for about 15 years. The practice has medical doctors, physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists. We also do pain management, and we have orthopedists on staff. Here at Advanced Multi-Medicine Rehabilitation, we've got physical therapists on staff who treat an array of conditions, from neck pain to back pain, shoulder pain. We treat carpal tunnel. We treat a lot of car accident patients, slip and falls. We treat patients with knee injuries, with ankle injuries. We have state-of-the-art equipment. We've been here for over 15 years. Vast array of diagnostic testing, from x-rays to EMGs. What is an EMG? It's a diagnostic test that allows a doctor to determine where the pinched nerve is. Cora is a physical therapist at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. She's working on Stephanie, who was involved recently in an automobile accident. Stephanie has tight thoracic and cervical musculature, and Cora is doing some myofascial release work and some therapeutic stretching, doing it to help her with her pain. Vicky is also a patient here at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. Vicky is now working her leg muscles, specifically her quadricep muscles, trying to strengthen them after an injury she sustained. If you find yourself in need of any type of physical therapy, please don't hesitate to call Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation, located in Westbury, New York, in Suite 214. Phone number is 516-334-7000, or find us on our website at advancedmultimedicine.com.
And we're back with Victoria Love,
Yay.
our dating and relationship coach.
I want to know, what are the tips to know if a guy's interested in you? Because I'm sure women all around the world.
I think a lot of people question that. Is he interested in me? Is he not?
Yeah, how do we know? What are the signs?
Right. What do you look for?
So when we're speaking about online dating, right?
Yeah.
It's consistency is a good word I'd like to use. Besides the obvious, it's like 50 Shades of Grey. It's pretty much should be black and white.
I never saw the movie, guys. Am I the only
I
one?
didn't see the movie either. No,
You're the only two in America.
Women will look more prominently at the grays instead of the black and white. Okay, so if he's not consistent, let's see, if he's not
That's a key
consistent in
word.
texting and calling and interest. And, and don't overdo the texting, by the way, and the calling prematurely to the date, because
Right.
that will exhaust too much of the conversation and emotionally set you up for expectations and perhaps disappointment, as opposed to hoping for the best, but being attached to no results.
But what's consistency? So how, on average, how often would you expect to hear from this person?
Again, we don't want to go in it with, a strategy and orchestrated necessarily. We want it to be more organic, but especially women, please lean back. Don't be so aggressive and pursue the man. The man is always, in my book, supposed to be the leader, the hunter, the one to
hunter.
chase
I love
and
it.
pursue. And yes, when he initiates, then you may reciprocate and follow gracefully.
But why are some of them
don't-
so scared?
But don't be a train wreck.
A lot of them seem very
I
scared.
love it.
They're too aggressive. Here we go back to the masculine energy. Too aggressive, and then they, it just appears too aggressive to a man, and a man wants to be really the leader, just like in the dance of love, right? If you go out dancing with a man, does he lead?
I hope so.
Uh huh.
I don't know.
So-
I'm not a dancer, guys. I'm not very.
Yes, you are.
Same way,
I
right?
can do the
Just-
Carlton. Okay.
So I would encourage women to just lean back and allow the man to make the first moves. And then if you're an established exclusive relationship, then yes, reciprocity is indeed a must. But we're in the beginning courting stages of dating. You really want the man to do the work, to show the effort of interest, and then of course look out for the red flags, warning signs such as standing on a train track and seeing them coming, but yet you just stand there waiting to get run over. So
Oh, interesting.
right, and women do it.
That was a great
'cause they're-
analogy,
Yeah,
guys.
I know. I
they're
visualize that
showing
perfectly.
desperate measures. And that, again, comes from here, the confidence level. Confidence is the sexiest thing that you could have as a woman, right?
Can you teach us
Not-
how to do that? Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No,
If
Can
you
you
have
teach
to
me how to
ask,
do
then
that?
if you need not ask, then you already have it within you, okay? So
Okay.
confidence is something that's natural. And some women try to be confident, and it's an act as opposed to authentic. And it's like, my mother once told me this years ago, that men are like dogs and they sense things, and it's so true. They literally are like bloodhounds. They can see you coming from a mile if you're trying to overcompensate, try too hard. It's desperate. And it's really not confidence. And so whether it be, especially in a date, it's kind of like a false sense of communication when you're on the phone and you're just texting, because you're missing the element of surprise, wonder, mystery, body language, animation,
Right.
eye contact, facial expressions, all of that matters. All of the details matter. So until you have that dynamic during your date, you really don't know the nuance, and it's really superficial, virtual.
So let me ask you a question. So you have a lot of people that go online dating, and clearly pictures are an important thing, right?
Oh, yes.
So what do you suggest for those people that are wanting to meet their mate, and they're clearly just relying on pictures?
Ladies, don't be pretentious or promiscuous. Keep it softened. Don't do the, the duck faces and lips.
God.
Don't do.
Tell the guys not to do the shirtless bathroom pics, please.
What is with the shirtless
no
bathroom
shirtless,
pics?
no flexing, no
Why do they
working
think
out,
that
no
that's
pictures with your
attractive?
dogs.
I skip through
no-
those peeps. I'm like, F this. Why would
You don't have to do the bathing. All right, you don't have to be demure. I'm certainly not demure. I'm more of a glam girl, like you guys are, right?
Yeah,
So
of course,
okay, it's
girly
okay
girls.
to be glam, right? But you don't have to be eccentric in terms of the bathing suit poses or the
Yes,
sexual.
Guys, I'm not ready. I
undertones.
have to have Chrissy Ann Dolly back on to help me get in shape for that.
You got a month, Chrissy.
So you want to keep it classy,
Right.
not trashy. We know that saying, right?
Okay.
You
But
want
guys like the trashy, I think.
the wrong guys
wrong
like
guys,
that, too.
right,
That's a good point.
right.
Good
You
point,
know that.
Victoria.
Right.
You know
That's
that.
why we have you
Yeah,
here, see?
exactly.
She had the good comeback.
So if you gravitate, it's what you gravitate toward and it's what you attract. It goes both ways. And you want to make sure that the essence of what you are emitting in the aura that surrounds you, the presence that you have about you, is about the natural confidence and not, again, needing to have that codependency factor, the clinginess, because men hate that, by the way. They want a woman who's not so clingy, who isn't.
Who has a life? It's very simple.
Yes, but
She
also
is,
embraces him in hers. It's just about keeping the I in the we. That's
Now,
what I
Victoria,
was-
let me ask you a question. So you have someone who goes on a date, and they're not. Let's say the person does not look like their picture. Is not what they
deception.
described. How do you handle that?
gracefully.
I feel like a lot of
But-
men say that more than women. I
Yeah,
have
that the pictures aren't
a
accurate.
lot of my guy friends tell me
Yeah.
that.
Yes, online dating, I would say to stay away from the abrasive headliners, to stay away from self-sabotage, again, in the essay of the profile, where you're
But
just
what do you do when
saying
you're
too
out
much.
with them? If you have someone
When
who's
you're
out with them,
them-
and she's like, "Oh my God, this," or he,
And
just
their
per-
pics are deceptive.
totally.
Oh,
like,
God.
how do you handle that?
I've had that happen to me, where
Okay.
the person looked nothing like themselves. I literally, I stood through the date very gracefully.
Did you say anything? Were you like, "Oh my God, well, those
I
pictures
kept
from like
the
20 years
banter.
ago"?
No, I kept the banter pretty neutral, and the conversation pretty much, flowed about life in general,
Okay.
children, neutral conversations and topics. Nothing personal,
Right.
And by the way, that brings me to another point. Please don't talk about the four knots on the date.
Oh,
which
good.
is-
What are the 4 knots?
yeah,
Great.
finances, exes,
Why do
religion, politics, and religion.
Why do people always bring up their exes? They,
Because
on
it's,
any online date
it's
I've ever went on,
familiar.
they brought up their ex.
It's
Guys,
compa-
they brought up their
because
exes.
it's compare and despair. It may be intentional
good.
or subconscious, right?
Yeah.
It's not good because it's going to bring up a lot of bad energy, stirs up a little bit of sediment within you, okay? And it also puts him or her, whoever's talking about the topic, in a bad
Right.
situation where they feel the compare and despair. As I call reference to
Right,
it.
right.
So you don't want to bring up the exes. You don't want to bring up religion because it could get debatable, and you
Yeah,
want to.
you wouldn't even want to have that conversation then.
You change the whole dynamic of the date, and then you don't even realize that you're sabotaging it in the interim.
Correct.
So stay away from the four, do nots.
What should people talk about on a first date?
Neutral topics. Keep it fun, keep it light, keep it easy breezy. Keep it about yourself, keep it about your interests, your goals, your aspirations, your work. Just the light stuff that you would talk about with your girlfriend.
Right.
Right.
On the first date, especially, just as the icebreaker,
Right.
so it doesn't become a deal breaker,
Right.
right?
Oh, I love it.
And
I
then
love that.
on the
That's a good
second
little
date
goal.
and the third, you could get more, more personal, more private, more deep.
Mm-hmm.
But you really want to keep it surface level so you don't sabotage it immediately.
I love it. All right, we want more for Victoria, but we have to go to break.
Aw, I had another good question.
Let's see if the good bulldog shows up.
Will they show up? Let's see.
Stretching under sedation or manipulation under anesthesia is a very gentle, very precise procedure to very slowly release any scar tissue that is formed as a result of a traumatic injury. Many people ask, how does this work? Will I get hurt? Will you stretch me too far? We only stretch the body part to its normal range of motion. After completing the post-MUA rehabilitation program, it's very common that our patients say to us, hey, I can play ball with my kid again. Hey, I can bowl again. Hey, I can enjoy hiking again. This is what makes it rewarding to us as practitioners.
Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Do dogs chase cats?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Could.
Time to make the donuts. Dunkin' Donuts are always fresh. I made the donuts. We make them at least twice every day. Time to make the donuts. Not a few kinds, like supermarket. Made the donuts. Time to make the donuts. But up to 52 varieties. The donuts. Time to make the donuts. I made the donuts. Dunkin' Donuts, up to 52 varieties, fresh day and night. No supermarket can say.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is Lee PMC, and the place to be, the greatest MC in history. There will never be an MC greater than me. And right about now, the only place for you to be is with the one and only Madhouse TV. You are the man.
And we're back. Chrissy, next question.
Well, what I want to know is, I have a two-part question.
Go ahead, we like two-part.
What advice do you have for people who are about to give up on online dating? Because everyone gets frustrated. It's, like you said, it's a full-time job. And especially if you're on multiple websites, you know.
Well, it doesn't have to be a full-time job. I mean, a lot of people are, let me rephrase that, addicted to online dating, and that's part of the problem, sure. That's why a lot of people who are in relationships are still peaking, so to speak, kind of like what stays in Vegas. No, it doesn't stay in Vegas.
Interesting. Nothing stays, guys.
No,
it always comes back.
No, it always does. So I encourage you to, not get addicted. If you're going to give somebody a chance, if you keep moving and shifting around, you're never going to be solid with somebody. So if you find somebody with potential, then get off the grid and give them a chance, right?
Right.
Makes sense. Because if you don't, you become egocentric and consumed with the process, and you become addicted for the bigger, better, new, next mentality. Right. And so you want to make sure that to prevent that from happening, that you have to have that discernment factor, which comes with my coaching skills that you acquire to really narrow it down to the process of elimination as far as that goes, so that you don't continue to keep the door of opportunity open when it should be, closed.
Sealed.
Yes,
now.
Absolutely. But getting back to the original question,
If people are about to give up, they're like, F this, screw
like, oh my
it,
God, I can't take
I'm
online
done.
dating. It's so annoying.
So I love this question. You want to know why?
Yeah.
How many times in your life? I'm 47, so I will say I've been in love.
Beautiful and
Thank
great.
you.
Not that that's old. Not that that's old, guys. It's
You
not
must
old.
be using Clarins skincare.
You look beautiful.
Actually,
you must be using Eminence.
High
That's
five.
what I use.
Okay, so if you are in your midlife, okay, and so how many times have you actually been in love? So what makes people think
A lot, guys.
that they're
All
good?
right,
Stop it. You said
Fall
I
very
mean,
easily,
truly
guys.
in love. Of course, we have many different encounters, some dalliances. I'm talking about true, authentic, genuine love, right?
Yeah.
So maybe a few times at best. But so many people believe that either when they just come out of a marriage, divorced, single, they're on rebound, they're not even properly healed, that they should be resilient and to just finding
Bounce
somebody
back.
because we live in a disposable society that always is
Yes.
accustomed to instantaneous gratification. Doesn't work that way. You could be on a dating site for 2 years before you find somebody worthy, right? Because again, it's not it's not organic just to fall in love over and over immediately. It's just not. And so you have to give the process time and not fear the failure part of the rejection or just right. Most people gravitate to. Most people are very clingy and get attached immediately because they're afraid of rejection, abandonment, alienation, and all of that. So, the alternative is worse. Okay, being alone is worse. So don't give up.
No, go ahead.
But why is it I feel like men could move on quicker than women?
Because they're more, women are more emotional, men are more analytical. So, there is life after loss, and there's more love. Love is in abundance. It's unlimited. So, again, every time you think the last guy, it's over, and you'll never get over it.
I feel like you meet someone better. I feel like you meet someone who's more in line with what you want.
That's why I'm glad I met her.
It's one step closer.
No, you got it.
Every experience that you have, as long as you extract the lesson from the experience and you don't just have the experience and don't learn from it, then you're going to go rebound and repeat redundantly over and over, cyclically, the same patterns that are perpetual and problematic, right? So what you want to do is learn from it and evolve and grow and gain emotional intelligence. That's how you become emotionally confident, stronger, self-evolved, right?
So now let me ask you a question, because I totally agree with you. And I feel like every relationship allows you to be clear for the next one.
Yes.
What do you say to someone who keeps attracting the same type of person? What can they do to evolve and to attract the person they're more wanting?
Yes.
They have to, again, it goes back to self-love. It goes back to the source as well as the symptoms. So that's what I do in coaching. I peel back the layers to see exactly where and why that it always has, comes either from family origin or some kind of, chaos somewhere in the lifespan of adolescence to adulthood. And so they repeat to what's familiar, habitual, etc., right? So that is why they go from one bad to another, just different.
How do they stop that pattern?
They have to be self-developed. They have to reprogram their mentality, their mindset, retrain the brain, so to speak. Because it's kind of like a computer. I blogged about this the other day. First of all, our mind is the most sophisticated of all PCs out there, right? And we're not a PC, but I'm just comparing metaphorically that if you upgrade or if you worse have a virus, then you need to.
Oh Lord!
You have corrupt files, essentially, and you have to basically
corrupt files, meaning
meaning your mind. Your mind is your own worst enemy.
And some men, I would say, or some.
And a lot of women just follow their heart, but they don't bring their head, right? So it's a perfect balance of the intuition, the internal GPS system that we never ignore the signs of. It's following your heart, but also using wisdom, because knowledge and power is only through execution and application, right? So if you don't use your wisdom, then you're not. It's really negated. It's futile. It's futile energy. It's futile knowledge.
So you think a lot of women see, like, say they go on a date with somebody, and they probably get that internal GPS thing saying something is wrong, but they ignore
They settle because they. You know what? I always say never exchange short-term satisfaction for long-term fulfillment. And that's what they do over and over again. Again, because it's habitual. It's just crumbs. It's scraps. They're settling for the crumbs and the scraps as opposed to, everything that a full partnership should have.
Right.
Do you think it comes into because it's like the scarcity thing? They don't think they're going to find anyone better or anyone else like better. It's the limited belief system that they have.
It is the limited belief system. Very well said, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes.
Guys, I should be a life coach too.
You should.
Love is in abundance, like I said, and it's not scarce. And so if we could just embrace that, then, we can cultivate the feelings of what we truly believe that should not be believed, whether that be fear of rejection, codependency, attachment style, love styles.
Let me ask you a question just to jump on that. So what would you say to someone who has been in a relationship and maybe the person left for whatever reason, so they're feeling rejected, so they're feeling discouraged, they're feeling less than. What would you say to them what would they need to do to get on the right path to moving forward.
Right.
See a good coach, number one, of course, because
Of course.
support system is kind of
Coach
like
is everything.
It is. It's like, you know what? It's like a physical therapist. If you get injured, you need healing. You need help to
Right.
help support you, right? You go to the gym, you get a personal trainer because that's going to be the person that's going to push you
Right.
and go the extra mile. When you don't think you have it in you, we're going to push you a little bit more. Also, I'm everybody's mirror. So I will show you what you don't see. A lot of people will say, it's amazing to me. I'll be on the phone with my clients and they'll say, well, I've been in a relationship or I just met somebody and this is what's wrong and this is what's right. Well, let me mirror that back to you. You just gave me a list of what's wrong, so what do you think the answer is?
Right.
And it's really very clear and transparent, but it's not lucid to them, unfortunately and
Right.
sadly.
They need somebody to
Because
say
they're
it
in
back
it,
to
and
them.
so it's hard for them to
Yeah,
really
they're
see.
emotionally attached, so they really have blinders on. And, you know, we go back to that settling mentality where they just keep lowering the bar. And by the way, there's extremes to that. Some people, you know, raise the bar to where it's no longer obtainable, right? And that's the perfectionist and the idealistic mentality. Or
Right.
you have the one who's way down here. So it's all about balance and, you know, precise perspective as opposed to being one or the other.
Right.
And that comes from, again, self-development, emotional support, and just growing into your self-worth and value and respect.
What would you say people could do to make their profile more attractive, like to get more?
Yeah, those profiles.
Yeah,
I want to
that's-
say those profiles give everything away. When I read a
They do.
profile and
Right.
it says no drama, I'm like,
Right.
he had drama.
Right. But you said there's a science to it, to writing
You know,
your profile.
I
so
do. I
wanna-
actually help people revise, modify, alter their
Oh, so
their
you write profiles with people, okay.
Well, you know what? I don't do the work for them. It's kind of like the teacher and the student, okay? I rather you do it from your heart, straight, you know, like
Right.
comprise your essay. I'll correct it. I'll revise it after I look at
So
it.
you revise it for them. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do that with my clients, but I also just do it if people just want to start there without the weekly coaching. So I do both services,
Oh, so-
weekly mentorship and dating and relationship coaching,
Okay.
as well as the essays, okay? But, you know, let's, again, look at the obvious. You know, tacky headliners, you know, are just...
What's a tacky headline?
Yeah, again, please, just keep
Is
it
looking
original.
for my Ted Mosby tacky? Because that was one of mine, guys.
What is
know,
it?
there's
What is
so
it?
Looking for
many-
my Ted Mosby? Is that bad? Because he was a romantic and always looking for a soulmate.
You know,
No,
don't
it was
say...
you. It's
Tell
not
me the truth,
tacky.
Victoria,
It's
you
not
can tell
tacky,
me.
No.
Yeah, you
Is it
want to...
bad?
Listen, you just don't want to look over-eager, right? Or
But is
desperate.
that over eager? What do you think?
No.
Middle of the road.
What? That was funny.
It was funny.
Yeah, you know what? We can keep things really light and fun without being so heavy.
Okay.
Because when you are so heavy, you know, it just shows a person that you're very analytical. And especially men, they don't want that at all. They want fun, flirty, sexy, sweet. They don't want drama. They don't want clingy. They don't want codependency.
Let's bring your sister's boyfriend up here. Let's ask if we got him here
Joey,
in the audience.
Joey!
Let's bring him up here. Come on.
He's
Tell
like,
us.
no. He's like next show.
Go ahead.
So yeah, you want to keep it again light, fun, you know, fun, flirty, but not too heavy again. Even with that, because a lot of you don't pour it on too thick either. You know, then you're going to send wrong signals, and then on the first date they're going to expect. Which, by the way, talking about that, and I'll get to.
Okay.
God, we want to hear this. You have
Yeah.
a good tip, apparently.
Yeah, just because a gentleman takes you to dinner, that doesn't qualify him to be entitled to dessert. And you know what I'm
like
saying? And a lot of women feel either obligated, again, self-worth. If you feel like you have to give up the goods just because you were bought a meal, something's wrong
Yeah.
Right.
right from, okay.
How long
right out
should
of
you
the
wait?
gate.
How long should you wait? Wait,
There
this
is
is a
no
good
time.
question.
How long should you wait? Number one, until you're absolutely exclusive, okay? Or else you're just going to keep building the notches. And you really don't want to do that.
No.
Either or, because, you know, that's just,
No, it's stupid.
yeah, it is.
I love it.
Guys,
Nah,
it's
it's
just,
so bad.
guys, it's just stupid.
It's different.
You want to wait till you're exclusive until you mutually agree that
Right.
you know, there's no time really limit to it. There really isn't. It's just
It
when
just
both
depends on the
consenting
the
adults
relationship,
agree to
right.
it. But preferably, ideally, when you're exclusive, you know.
But can I ask you something? Because
Yes.
how do you get past? I think a lot of women feel this way, that men on online dating, they'll email you and they'll be talking to you and then they disappear. It's like because
Vanishing.
there's too many people.
Houdini, yes.
Right. I want to know what you feel about that, and also
Next.
how you get past because they have so many options. So I feel like they're talking to different people every week. They could go out with.
You got options too.
So
you got options
but I'm saying,
too.
how do you
handle
But
that?
that brings the frustration of forget this. Then like what? This isn't working.
No.
Like these guys are just talking to a million different women as
And
the
it's
women
okay.
are. I know,
Again,
but-
okay, so let's talk back in the day, the club days, or even today. You
Yeah.
frequent the clubs back in the day. You go to a lounge. You could go anywhere right now, in fact, where there's maybe 20 to 100 people. Does not necessarily mean that you're going to connect with any one of them. You could walk
Right.
out and not have a connection, right? So what makes you think if you've gone on 20 dates with 20 different men, or if you are bantering back and forth with multiple men online, that one of them it's a hit or miss? It's like going into a department store or discounted department store and shopping the racks. It's hit or miss. So you really have to, again, no expectations. If you just enjoy the process and don't expect, then that's when you're going to have it manifest.
Right.
Okay.
Have fun with it. You can have fun with it.
Absolutely.
Do you have any tips of where we can meet quality men? Well, not we, but
You know,
everyone
Where
out there watching.
Where viewers can meet quality
Yes.
men.
you can network. I mean, there's the more exposure, the better. So whether you join a gym, whether you go to networking events, whether you go on an online dating site, the more the better. But don't make it. Be proactive, but don't be consumed by it.
Right.
Okay, there's a difference, because then again you get enthralled in the process, and then you get confused, and then you get distracted with stay focused, keep your attention narrow, as opposed to, right?
That's what she always
vast,
tells
as
me.
opposed to so vast. And then you can, because then really you're not giving maybe one person that you might pass up that has that potential.
Right. And I have to say, Chrissy has a lot of guys after her. She's
Yep.
just very
Guys,
selective.
You have
Call
to be
me at
selective.
Manhouse TV right now. We'll put you online. We'll
Yes.
put you on with Victoria Love.
You have to stay selective, absolutely. That's another thing that women don't do.
Exactly.
And raise their standards. How do we do it?
Yeah.
How do we do it, Victoria?
You have to just raise your standards in terms of
Just
what
say
the
no
obvious
when they're
are.
like,
Yeah, you have to. That's where your picker is. You know, you have to pick the right partner by having that discernment and that insight and intuition, and also the self-love and worth. It all stems from there, because what you think you're worth or worthy of is what you're going to attract. If not, you're going to tolerate, accept, and enable. That's really what you're going to do. So it's one or the other. And so if you are of substance, you're going to meet a quality person.
So
if
let
you
me
have
sh-
low standards, you won't require much.
So let me ask you a question. You have a person and they're wanting to do a selfie right now. You guys ready for a selfie?
If you have a person. Oh my God. Guys, I lost my bucks and lip gloss.
Listen.
Guys, I lost
Victoria,
it.
where can people find you
Yes.
online? Because
Victoria
obviously
Love.
coaching is very important, and I think when you're in these situations, it's great to have a coach. So what's your website?
Victoria Love Gattuso on Facebook is best to find me. Victoria Love Gattuso.
Perfect. And now we're going to stand.
Do you want this one, Victoria?
Stand.
And then could you grab our selfie prop box?
What am I
course
doing
we
with
can.
this?
Do you want to use that one for your
going
lips?
to.
You put it over your lips for the picture.
It's selfie time!
Where do you want me?
Just climb it anywhere! Preppers.
All right, guys.
I'm going to wear our new sunglasses.
Oh, yeah. What should I do, guys? Guys, I'm
Come
not
on.
ready.
Come on,
Okay.
Chris.
I'm doing
Am
the
I
heart.
standing
I'm
with
doing
you?
the
What
heart.
am I
Ready?
doing?
Yeah.
Come close to me, Victoria.
Okay.
How's it going?
I love it.
I just stayed the same the whole time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
This is
See you
Great
next
Show. Thanks a lot.
week.
See you next week.
Who we having? Jenny Costa
It's
from
off already.
KTU.
It's off already. Oh, it's not? Jenny Costa next week. of
KTU.
KTU.
We can't wait. Thank you, Victoria.